All right, so Venom. Let's talk about Venom. I the first time I saw Venom was in a comic, obviously, when Venom was facing off against Spider-Man. So now in movies, obviously, the first time we get a glimpse of Venom is in Spider-Man 3 when they basically wrecked the whole concept of Venom. It was a great idea introducing him, but they quickly killed off his character like in one scene. So yeah, it was crazy. So let's just erase all that. So now we have a new Venom with Tom Hardy, who happens to be one of my favorite actors. And there was one movie that was called Warrior, and I remember watching the movie in the theater going, who is this UFC fighter? Because I used to follow UFC quite a bit. And I was like, man, this guy is pretty good and all this kind of stuff. Then I found out it was Tom Hardy. I'm like, what is going on? Because I thought he was like a skinny guy. Like in Inception, he had kind of a medium build and all that kind of stuff. That was the first time I saw Tom Hardy was in the movie Inception. So anyways, so now Venom is out. And I'll be honest, the first time I saw the trailer, Venom, I was thinking, where's Spider-Man? Where's Spider-Man going to fit into all this? Because, again, in the comics, Spider-Man got taken off of Earth along with a lot of Marvel superheroes and put on another planet to fight the good guys and the bad guys. Good guys would fight bad guys fight good guys, so they all got kidnapped and put on a planet to fight against each other. So that was called the Secret Wars. So there was a whole comic series on that. In that series, Peter Parker gets a new costume by these aliens. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. But that's his new costume. And his costume has webs, built-in webs, all that kind of stuff. So he doesn't have to worry about replenishing his webs. And it could come on to his body just like that, all this kind of stuff. So then after Secret Wars, he comes back to Earth and he gets to keep the costume. But what happens after time is when Peter Parker goes to sleep, Venom goes out into the town and tears one up with Peter Parker. Peter Parker doesn't know this, it's just Venom. And after a while, Peter Parker gets wind of this, that he's actually exhausted all the time, and during the day, he can't really think, and he's wondering why he's always tired. And he realizes that when he sleeps, Venom takes him out into the streets, beating up people, destroying things, all kinds of stuff. So he tries to get rid of the suit, and he can't do it because that's when we start learning this thing is a symbiote. I don't think it's called a symbiote, like some people call it, but I think it's a symbiote. So he has a problem with the suit. Eventually, he is able to separate himself from the suit, and the suit gravitates towards aggressive people. That's why it gravitated towards Spider-Man, because Spider-Man had Peter Parker had special powers, and so that now becomes Venom. Venom is spider-like. And then you keep some of those spider senses, all that kind of stuff. And Peter Parker can't sense Venom because they're so similar. So that makes him a great villain, probably one of his most fierce villains. So I'm not sure why we're not getting that. But then eventually Venom attaches himself to Brock, who's a photographer, and Brock is Eddie Brock, I think his name is. He's pretty aggressive, always bench pressing and all that kind of stuff, and lifting heavy weights. And Venom is attracted to that and becomes part of it. And Eddie loves Venom and says, "Yeah, basically take me over." And wants to go after Peter Parker. Hates Peter Parker. Venom hates Spider-Man. So makes a great union. They're not addressing any of that, I don't think, in this, because it just seems like somehow he's a test tube dummy. And but the movie, I honestly feel, will be good because of Tom Hardy alone. He does both voices. He does, obviously, himself as Peter Parker, but he also does Venom. So somehow they made it work, and which is great because he was fantastic as Bane with the mask on, to be able to excuse me, use his eyes and all that kind of stuff and change his voice to, do you think you are in control? Okay, that's my best Venom. But I like it. Excuse me. Though it's probably because I'm drinking too much coffee and talking, my voice gets dried up a bit. Anyways, so I think it'll work. I'm just not sure how it's going to work with Spider-Man. And I really hope they introduce that. Maybe at the end we see a new Spider-Man, or maybe it's Tom Holland. Whatever. We'll see. So, the last trailer of Venom was awesome, as it looks like that Venom has totally taken over Eddie Brock's character, or Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock. So that part's going to be great. The action's going to be crazy. It looks a little bit CGI, but I know they'll clean that all up by October. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great movie. I'm just not sure how they're going to tie it in with Spider-Man. So there you go. So that's my take on that.